live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, we going live. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
I am Jared, the football genius Burgess.
And I am Stephanie Fitzpatrick, aka the Advantage Coach.
And this is episode 131 of the Field to the Real podcast.
Yes.
I think when we tell people about, the podcast and we tell them about, how many episodes we have and how long we've been doing this, it's always a shock.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because, like a lot of things, especially during the pandemic, I think people started podcasting kind of like a fad.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And we were at this way before the pandemic hit. But
yeah.
I think that even that kind of shocks people, because by now you would say, oh no, nobody goes 3 years. Like right. Nobody's gonna do this for, especially, and we're not, some big time, getting money from Spotify or something, that kind of thing,
Right.
But I think that is probably the biggest reason why people are like, whoa, y'all still doing that? And
right.
Then things like the fact that I moved away from Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we still figured out how to make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the dope part of it. Like I was telling somebody the other day about just kind of our journey through podcasting. And I was like, at this point, we could teach a class. And I'm not saying that to like boast on of our own like volition or anything like that. But I was saying that to say, like, we've had to transition so much with this podcast. Like, you remember our first episode was in my apartment, in the kitchen, and it was only audio. We didn't even have video.
Yep.
And then we transitioned to going over to the library.
Yep.
Doing it at the library.
Yep.
And thank God for them over at the library, Northwest Crossing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They put us in the room.
That was such a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you moved up to Charlotte, we were trying to figure out, all right, like how we gonna do this? Like, is it gonna only be audio? And then like even in the times where like I don't even know how this even came to be, but I'm working for Amazon, and Amazon's like, hey, we want to send you guys to Charlotte. You pay extra money. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, let me jump at that. And then we record there.
Right.
So like, I think the consistency.
And you stopped here before you went to DC one time too.
That was grandma's service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like it's just been, and sadly, I haven't been back to Atlanta for us to do in Atlanta.
Oh yeah. Well, that's because, and we know that Charlotte was an assignment. You know what I'm saying?
No, I needed to be isolated. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I'm just, we're gonna wait until you come back before we give all of our good news.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, all of it.
All of it.
We're gonna wait until you come back for that. But it's just it's dope to see that we've been able to maintain consistency, and
absolutely.
And anything that has been kind of thrown at us with this podcast, we've been able to figure it out. Even if we've been, we may be off for a week or two, or I think one time we were off for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, when I moved. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but even with that, like we figured it out. Like, let's get Zoom, and then it was like, well, y'all can only have people on for an hour, and it cuts right off at an hour. Well, let's figure out a way to
real deal.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that part has been been exciting, and I feel like this diligence and this consistency will be rewarded.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and for you all to clarify, reward, yes, we would like to see sponsorship. Of course, we would love that.
Mm-hmm.
But reward really is us getting the opportunity to do what we started this for in the first place.
Right.
Which is being on campuses and having the opportunity to do the podcast as well as the project. Like that is where we would ultimately like to see this go.
Yeah.
Yeah, with sponsorship. Let me not leave that out.
Oh yeah, no, we certainly want the sponsorship.
Yeah, with sponsorship. Yes.
But to your point, it is more than that for us.
Oh yeah, it's more than just that. Yeah, the moment a kid says to one of us, "Man, that really helped me," or comes back to us after they've been through what we provide, and they get through the sport when the sport is done with them, and they're like, "Thank you so much,"
right? Because
what you all gave me was invaluable for now in my life. Yeah,
that's
worth it all for me.
Now we still got bills to pay, but that's rewarding.
Yes, but but literally, because we have to keep that, the money, the sponsorships, all that stuff is kind of a byproduct in my mind. Like the main, as far as our thought process, it has to be, let's stay focused on this. Yeah. So I love it.
Me too.
And again, I'll say this, wouldn't want to do this with anybody else.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. I really can't imagine.
Just grateful.
What you're not gonna do is have us crying on this.
Okay, I ain't even listen. I don't even know if I got any tear duct water left today because I'm just so tired.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all in the secret. I took a nap earlier, and Stephanie's about to take a nap after we were finished recording this episode.
Listen, it's real, okay? But I'm dedicated.
Yes.
I'm here.
You here? Yeah.
Been up since 2:30 a.m., but I'm here.
That's painful. That's painful. Well, all right. On that note, let's go ahead and jump into this Who's Really Right, because and we'll talk a little more about how the WNBA has been treated a little later. But I think it's important for us to at least shine a light on what's happening in the WNBA. And if you guys don't know, the WNBA, they're in their finals right now. And so the Phoenix Mercury is playing the Chicago Sky.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think that is fascinating about the Chicago Sky being in the finals is that they were like a 500 team during the season.
That's the parity of basketball.
But that's what I was about to say. So, and that's true parity. You know what I'm saying? Like that's true parity. And so you love to see it because it's like,
love it.
We don't know who's going to win.
Anybody can have a shot when it's like that. I love it.
Yeah. And I think people were kind of like, there's not a whole bunch of parity in the NBA.
No.
Right.
No.
I think people were like pleasantly surprised to see the Milwaukee Bucks win the championship this year because, it kind of felt like, okay, which team is going to win? Everybody was saying, oh, the Lakers are probably going to win, or the Brooklyn Nets are probably going to win. But it wasn't either of those things. And so it was kind of refreshing to see, But you see this parity in the WNBA every year. Because a few years ago, when my Washington Mystics won, they were not the number one seed that year.
Yeah.
So it's dope to see that. But our Who's Really Right is, who do we have winning this WNBA finals?
Yeah. Because this is a doozy, y'all. If you don't follow, which I encourage you, please, please, please go follow the WNBA. But if you don't, there are quite a few superstars that are participating in this, even though the team, like you said, So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. They are tied up now. They're tied up 1-1. Phoenix and Chicago.
Yeah.
So who do you have winning this series?
So I have to go with, it's funny, when we talked about this, you brought up the other person. she ain't even on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
The person that is on my mind is pretty much the Tom Brady of the WNBA.
Oh man, I don't know. We might have to get at the Sue Bird.
Well, currently playing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah. Sue Bird.
Currently playing. Let me say that because I was gonna have to agree with you. Currently playing. She's like the Tom Brady of of the WNBA. And that is Diana Taurasi.
Yeah.
And so I have to go with the Mercury. Because she's a little gritty.
Yeah.
I imagine her last name being Taurasi. I want to say she's probably Italian. She's got a little olive skin color too.
Yeah.
I want to say she's probably Italian. And that Italian woman is going to will herself a win. Okay? All right. And she got Brittany, the person you mentioned, Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner.
I mean, I'm just saying.
So while I want to be with you on this, I do.
Okay.
I want to be with you on this, but there is something I saw a few weeks ago that made me think that this just might be destiny for Candace Parker. So Candace Parker is from Chicago.
I know.
She made the decision to leave the LA Sparks to go and play for her hometown team, the Chicago Sky.
Sounds familiar to anybody?
Yeah.
Maybe the LeBron of WNBA.
Man, right? And so the Chicago Sky have never won a WNBA championship. And the fact that they did go 500 and they ended up making it makes them feel, to me, it feels like, you know, when we watch the men's and women's NCAA tournament, and we just see those teams, like those teams of destiny, and they just get, you know, far, and they either flame out in like the Elite Eight or Final Four, or some of them even go on to win a championship.
That Cinderella team type thing. Yeah.
They feel like Cinderella.
Okay.
And so while probably the only recognizable name on this roster for you guys is probably Candace Parker, they have a guard, 5'8" guard, Courtney Vandersloot.
Oh, see, you got to follow the know, because then I'm like, that name ain't unfamiliar, but that's
okay, you got.
Like, I'm like, no, like her name isn't unfamiliar to me, but okay.
And when you look at how she's been balling this entire WNBA playoffs, I just kind of like, it's not, you know, I got nothing but respect for Diana Taurasi, you know, Brittany Griner and all the girls on that team, the women, excuse me, no disrespect. The women on that team, but it just feels like, you know, it feels like something bigger at play here.
I mean, here's the thing, like, I still feel like the Mercury are gonna win, but I am like second, well, used to be. Anyway, let me be quiet. Really, I just am I love Candace Parker.
Yeah.
It was somebody else that used to be first, but I can't put her there anymore. But yeah, I love Candace Parker.
Yeah.
Loved her in college, loved her game, watching her, you know, develop and become this. She was a superstar in college, though. So I mean, if she's able to channel her inner LeBron.
Looking at this team, though, you know, they gotta, because we mentioned Diana Taurasi and we mentioned Brittany Griner, but we didn't even mention Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Oh yeah, Skylar. Oh my gosh, yes.
And you remember how much of a, you know, baller she was in college at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So,
no, they got a roster now.
They got a roster, you know.
They do. They got a roster. That's why I said that. Candace, love you to death, but no, ma'am, I don't see y'all taking all of them out. I don't.
Yeah.
It'll have to be LeBron like. It'll have to be that. It'll have to be that kind of thing for them to do it. And yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna stick with my choice.
All right, I'm going with the Sky. I'm going with
right.
my team of destiny. So you
All
guys
right.
let us know who's really right. If you think that the Phoenix Mercury are going to pull off the WNBA Finals championship, then you agree with Stephanie. And you guys would be who's really right if they won. And remember, so we're going to do a Who's Really Right podcast where we just go back over all of our Who's Really Right from episode 1. I think we ended up missing episode 5, that Carmelo Anthony episode.
It got messed up.
Yeah, it ended up getting messed up with the and so we'll go through all the rest of them where we did Who's Really Right, and we'll go back and see, you know, what the score is. Now, as you guys know, this was Stephanie's idea because she knows that she wins the majority of these Who's Really Rights. But no, I thought it was a great idea too, just to kind of look back and see, because we never go back over them and say, oh, I was Who's Really Right last week.
Right. I think we're gonna add it like at some point, maybe the top of the year. Yeah. We can add that as like what we do after the Who's Really Right for this week, or even prior to the Who's Really Right for that week. Yeah. Just say who won the one. If
the one before. Yeah.
Right.
I think we could start that at the top of the year. Yeah. And kind of, you know, start fresh with that, because it makes sense to do that. I don't know why we just kind of overlooked that.
Well, I just thought about it. I was like, we'll never talk about, and then even if we're gonna ask people to you know, respond or be a part of it, we need to be putting their results out there. What do they think?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So yeah,
we were doing that on Twitter for a while. We were, you know, on Twitter, we were having people like kind of engage that way and vote. You know,
I mean, and that's still possible on IG too. Like we can do that. That's easy. But yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, you know, we joke all the time like I win a lot, but I don't know if that's necessary. You might be pleasantly surprised.
we know better stuff.
Okay.
Know better.
Okie dokie.
Nah, but if you choose the Chicago Sky, then you're riding with me, and if they win, then we'll be Who's Really Right. Yeah. So let us know who your choice is. Put it right down in the comments. And yeah, who's really right?
Who's really right? Let us know.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.